Greetings and salutations from history's largest mining colony. Today I'd like to talk about prepping. The first rule is water, water, water. I'd also like to cover the 6 C's and the 5 C's. You can't live 3 seconds without security, 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and 3 months without comfort. Now, as with everything, there are exceptions to every rule. Not all of us are Japanese World War II holdouts. Despite my military service and survival instruction from Bob Cooper, no amount of Bear Grylls episodes will make anyone a survival expert. If you don't think security matters, drive into a dodgy part of town at night and see how long you're prepared to leave your car unlocked and unattended, especially with valuables on the seat. Air can cover everything from smoke, toxic fumes, tear gas, rotting corpses, and sunbaked trash. Shelter includes extreme heat, extreme cold, darkness whilst asleep, concealment from predators, and cover from attackers. Water. Remember, there is a distinction between filtered and purified. If you drink filtered water containing cyanobacteria or blue-green algae, if you don't die a terrible death, you'll probably be paralysed until you do. I like Berkeys. Filter, boil, and purify. Have a backup for your backup and a redundancy for your redundancy. Food is obvious to everyone. The key here is taste. Make sure it's something you already consume and enjoy. Because when it comes time to rotate your stores, if you don't want to eat it, you've just wasted money. I can't stand rice or beans, but I store red, mung, and chickpeas so they can be sprouted indoors. Gardening is the whole other side of this coin, but I hope to cover that in a separate video. Pack a high-quality can opener. Comfort is not one we generally think about, but we are grateful to have every day. How sane do you think you'll be? How sane do you think you'll remain without your loved ones or favourite pet? The trick is forming a prepper group that has 0 federal agents as members. How do you vet for spies? That's the question of the ages. The 5 C's. Cutting, cordage, container, combustion, and cover. You will need a knife to baton, a skinner, and a paring knife. You will need a bow saw, a hatchet, and a proper axe. You will need shock cord, paracord, poly rope, cotton rope, and sisal. As many thicknesses and lengths as you can acquire. You will need duct tape, lots and lots of duct tape. T-Rex is best, but very expensive. Project Farm on YouTube has a thorough comparative test. I believe rigid strapping tape with a sealing of cheap PVC tape is the best. You want a great inexpensive container idea. Cask wine bladders. Clean them out thoroughly and they take up next to no room when deflated. They can also be used as cushions or pillows. Make sure your drink bottle is single-walled so you can use it over a fire, and try to stay away from aluminum. Glass containers can be used to kill bacteria using UV light and to start fires. Combustion. Mr. Bick is the best man to talk to here. Then matches, then ferro rods. Remember to practice using your ferro rod. I never had much luck using Vaseline-soaked cotton, but each to their own. I keep saving the drying machine lint and $2 fire lighter cubes. Buy a magnifying glass. Cover seems to be a personal thing. You may be a hammock or tent kind of person. You may swear by swags. But 2 things are essential. You need a good hat and a thick wool bag collection. The Yanks call them contractor bags. Aussies call them garden bags. Another name is rubble bags. Bottom line is you mustn't be able to push your finger through the wall of them. These have a myriad of uses. In this instance, we're talking about shelter construction. Don't ever sleep on bare, cold ground. You could freeze to death. I'll also throw in my list of 6 needs: clothing, entertainment, lighting, security, cleaning, and electrical. Pack to your current season. Make sure you have plenty of socks and comfortable shoes. If you wouldn't walk at least 10 kilometers in them, find some that you would and wear them in. This is mostly for those with children. If you thought entertaining kids during house arrest was hard enough, try adding the stress of a survival situation onto that. Find lighting solutions that won't burn the house down. I like solar devices, but be sure to check the customer reviews before purchasing. Make sure you have at least one red light device. Once the marauding begins, visible light sources will attract violent thieves like flies to shite. Do you know what the best weapon is, second only to a sober adult brain? The 7.5 FK Berno. If you can't afford one of those, a semi-auto 12 gauge, preferably with an extended magazine. Failing that, a hunting bow. All else fails, your favourite melee weapon. Build your own. Be sure to install motion sensors and cameras if you can, and reinforce your entry points. You'd be surprised how easy it is to push in a front door. Armour is a part of security. Make your own body armour if you have to. And for Pete's sake, lock your car doors. Research videos on situational awareness. Head to the Active Self-Protection channel. Hygiene is not just important for physical health, but for morale. Go out and buy a carton of baby wipes. Vinegar is an excellent chemical-free cleaner, not just for food, but for surfaces. We all seem to be dependent on our electrical devices, so when the rolling blackouts begin, make sure you have multiple means to power those toys. Again, solar is best. Better still is to join the low-tech revolution and relearn skills that we all used to take for granted in everyday life. Keep in mind, you may be weak from hunger, illness, injury, or sleep deprivation. Practice, boys and girls. Almost all of us have been affected by some sort of natural or man-made disaster. I was trapped by the Brisbane flood of 2011. And do you know how fast the shells were emptied? Less than 72 hours. Run drills with your family and take plenty of notes for improvement. David Kobler from Southern Prepper One is probably the best channel that I have seen. Jason Charles from Angry Prepper has a great boots-on-the-ground perspective. Both were on the television show Doomsday Preppers. Things you can do right now that won't cost a thing. Record your water intake. Record your shopping list items. Simulate a home invasion. Think about 3 things you would miss the most if the shops were to shut forever tonight. Remember, you drive with a seatbelt and you ride with a helmet. So why wouldn't you take steps to preserve your life in other worst-case scenarios? Please put in the comments things that you think that I've missed. And remember, we are the AI.